There are people making a killing using faceless AI-generated videos. Take Devon Knupp, who made over $2.4 million with his empire of faceless YouTube channels. But to do that, he needed to manage an army of freelancers in order to pull this off. But what if you could start by making faceless AI videos in 5 minutes or less without any outsourcers, without any expensive technology, and making it really, really simple? Well, I found this little-known AI feature that combines and simplifies two very powerful AI tools. And in this video, I'll show you exactly how to use tool number one, which is Descript, to make an amazing automatically generated AI video in just a handful of prompts. And not only am I going to show you exactly how it's done, but hang around until the end of this video and I'll show you how you can make money with the videos that you generate, which is the important part, right? So are you ready? Well, let's dive in. So for this demo, I brought on the channel's very own producer, Nick, to help us out. He's going to be doing the demo. Thanks for joining me, Nick.
Yeah, of course. And
we're going to be demoing step by step exactly how you do this. Reminder, a little bit later, I'm going to talk about how you make money with this strategy. I also want to let you know that we have a companion, a little guide that is going to have a list of prompts, the best how-to strategies and tactics on how to use this tool, because it does take a little bit of brainstorming, as you'll see in just a moment. And so we're going to give you all the best practices and some example prompts that you can use. It's totally free. You can download it at pushbutton.ai/subscribe, and that'll help you. All you have to do is joining our newsletter there. It's called Ingeniosity. It's free. And then we'll send you an email. It'll have a link to our library of content. There's a ton of how-to manuals, playbooks, guides, and this will be included in there. We're going to be creating that, putting it up after posting this video. But to get that, again, go to pushbutton.ai/subscribe. And Nick, so you use Descript, which is the big tool that connects together with ChatGPT. Descript has put out this custom GPT that connects it with ChatGPT. It's pretty powerful, but you use Descript for a bunch of things. I mean, first of all, Descript is an amazing video editor primarily, right?
Yeah.
And so you go in there and you'll edit an existing video. So take, for example, this recording that we're making right here. What he'll do is he'll load it into Descript and edit that existing video. He can even change the words, add captions. There's a lot of stuff he could do there. But now we can actually generate a video from just an idea. All we need is an idea, which we'll show you how to do that in a minute. We can go to this tool and spit out a fully ready to go video. Let's get started. So let's show them how it works.
Yeah, so the first thing you're going to do, you're going to open ChatGPT. You're going to go, you see right here on the sidebar right here, you're going to hit Explore GPTs. And real quick, for people who don't know what GPTs are or custom GPTs, Bill, could you give them like the brief 30-second rundown?
Yeah, so almost anyone can make a custom GPT, and there's specialized like versions of ChatGPT that do specific actions. So you can take a custom GPT and connect it to your favorite tools, for example, and get it to do things. And there are lots of people who have made these and then make them available to you and I, and Descript has their very own custom GPT. So it connects ChatGPT with Descript to do what we're about to do.
Yep, so you're gonna go to Explore GPTs. You're gonna see this search bar right here, and you're gonna look up Descript. And you're gonna hit the first one that comes up. It's gonna be AI Video Maker by Descript, and you're gonna hit that.
And an important note I'll say is make sure you look for the official Descript custom GPT, because as you saw on that list, there's a lot of them. And you can see it on the screen right there.
So once you hit that, and that'll take you here where you kickstart a conversation with AI Video Maker by Descript. Before we start, is there a particular video you wanted to experiment with, Bill? Like what sort of video should we make?
Well, have you had, in your demos, is there one that you had a good experience with that we could sort of replicate?
Yeah, I asked it to make a story, because I see shorts on my feed all the time talking about real life stories. And I asked it to take a story from Warren Buffett's life and make a little YouTube video about it. Why don't we do that with Ryan Reynolds? Because we've done a lot of content about him. And
oh yeah, let's have it make a video about Ryan Reynolds' journey as an entrepreneur and his success. Yeah, I love that. Let's do that. So he's actually been a very successful celebrity entrepreneur. And this is an example of the kinds of content you would want to make with this tool. Think about inspirational things, stories, inspirational quotes. You can do how-to content on here. The more story-driven types of content, the better. And be thinking about in your niche, what are the people that your niche market might look up to, and do stories about those people, those brands. You can do stories about companies, about products. But again, you don't have to limit it to stories. You can do how-to content. You know, you could even do fiction stories and have it read them and do those kinds of videos for you. So all you said is make me a video going over the story of Ryan Reynolds' career as an entrepreneur. Okay.
And then you want to go back and forth with it. It'll give you a script that it will read out. This is the first draft, essentially. In my opinion, it was a bit too short. I want to expand it. What I typed here is, can you be more comprehensive? This is a bit too general. Please make the script longer. Is there anything you wanted to add?
You can tell him to make a script that walks through step by step his career successes and failures as an entrepreneur. And this is an important lesson here as well. And when you're using tools like ChatGPT, there's a lot of these chat-based tools, whether it's Google's Gemini, whether you use Claude by Anthropic, or any of the others. It is often useful to have a conversation back and forth and give it feedback. Sometimes it always isn't a copy and paste exact template prompt. A lot of times, once the AI is primed and kind of focused on the topic and understands it, you can then do lots of general guidance about make it more specific, make it more step-by-step, make it more enthusiastic. You can give it feedback and talk through it, with the AI. So what do we got?
Yeah, so this is a big improvement from this one. Here's what we got.
Okay.
I wanted to focus more. I thought the Mint Mobile story was a really interesting story. So let's add more detail to the Mint Mobile portion of the story. Don't change the other parts. They're great as is.
Cool. And so hopefully this will be our final draft, and then we're going to move on to the next step, and we'll be popping this in and sending it over to Descript. And one of the things I'd like to know, if you guys can drop it into the chat, those of you watching now, what questions do you have about using video to generate income online? Do you have any questions about how you use these videos? Any questions about what kinds of videos that you might have to make? Drop them into the comments below, and I'll be happy to jump in there and help you out. Definitely drop those comments in there. And then we're going to be covering, don't forget, a bit later, I'm going to talk more specifically about how I would use these videos to make money myself. So what do we have now?
Yep, so it did just what I asked. It expanded on, because he was a part of Mint Mobile, that expanded on that portion of the story. And now I'm pretty satisfied with the script we have, so I'm happy to move on to the next step. It has a built-in workflow, so after we approve of the script, it wants to move on, and it wants to pick a visual style for the video. So here's what it says. If you're happy with it, we can move on to picking a visual style for the video, which is exactly what we'll do. You only get to pick from 4. There's 4 distinct visual styles it gives you. You could do what's called watercolor and ink, whiteboard doodles, low polygon 3D, and plasticine.
Do you have a favorite?
I like the low polygon 3D, so that's my personal favorite. So we'll just go with that for this one.
All right, let's do that. Now, to use the next step, you will need a Descript account, and you will need to be logged into Descript. It looks like it's doing a different workflow for you than it did for me, but
yeah. Oh, interesting. Sometimes you'll run into little bugs. That's fine. It says I wasn't able to generate the preview image due to content policy restrictions. However, we can still proceed with the low polygon 3D style. If you'd like, I can adjust the image request to be more general, perhaps.
Okay. Well, we don't need the preview image. Well, let's just jump straight into the video. And so for everybody out there, that preview image would be an example of what you might use as a video thumbnail, which probably, if I were going to post this video, I wouldn't use the Descript stock thumbnail. There are lots of really great tools.
I'd make my own in Canva.
Yeah. So this is a step where it's going to ask permission to connect to Descript. And to do this next step, you will need to have a Descript account and be logged into it.
Yeah. So we got to hit confirm so that we give it approval to talk to Descript. And sometimes I run into a little bug here where it looks like the chat just kind of blinked out. So I just refresh it, and it's usually fine. That took care of it. So it's going to give you this link, and you hit the link, and it's going to open the project inside of Descript. And you can see it working on the video right now.
Yeah, there you go.
And what's cool about Descript that sets it apart from other video editors, you can edit the video via its text. You can see the script that we came up with in ChatGPT. You can see it right here. And that's how all Descript videos work. You can highlight portions of the text and delete a portion of the video by the text. You can actually change the text so that it reads something different. It's really cool.
Yeah, and then I'll let everybody know as well, like you're not sure exactly how to prompt it, like in that previous step. What do you say, or how do you brainstorm ideas with the AI? Don't forget, we'll have a best practices and example prompts that you can copy and paste. We're going to have that guide available for free to all of our Ingeniosity subscriber. So again, you can grab that at pushbutton.ai/subscribe, and you'll be given that for free. As soon as we edited this video up, we'll post it in the library and notify you by email. It'll be in our big library. There's a whole bunch of downloadable guides and playbooks, and it'll be added to that library. Okay, cool. Let's see how it came out.
Reynolds is more than just a Hollywood star. He's a savvy entrepreneur who's built and sold businesses worth billions. His journey started in the early 2000s.
That's pretty cool. So now if you really wanted to, you could just spit this out as is, right? With no changes. I know we can also edit it and get way in depth if we want to change the words, change how she says something, remove like gaps if there's too many pauses. But as an example, let's dive in real quick, Nick, and just edit a couple of words. So let's say, for example, we wanted to edit a word and then add something to a section. Let's do that.
Sure. Let's just edit the first sentence.
Okay.
I'll change the word savvy to
brilliant.
I'll have to change it to right mode too. He's a brilliant entrepreneur.
Okay. And then let's add it to the end. I think you have to put it back in right mode. So okay. Everybody, you see that little thing there that says right mode? That's where you can edit that. Okay. And so then sold businesses worth billions. And then we'll add a sentence. He now makes more money from his business work than he does as an actor. It's a dumb line, but I'm just adding it as an example.
Okay. Now it's generating the speech.
And so this will take a moment as it's refreshing the audio, and it's going to regenerate the captions. And then let's rewind all the way back to the beginning and listen. Let's listen to that part.
Reynolds is more than just a Hollywood star. He's a brilliant entrepreneur who's built and sold businesses worth billions. He now makes more money from his business work than he does as an actor.
There you go.
There you go. So now this is your second chance to edit it. So you could obviously work with the GPT, work to come up with your script. And then if you're here and you're hearing it and you want to make further changes, you're not stuck. You can definitely edit the script from there. And then when they're ready to finish up and download it, what do they do?
Yep, just hit export, select your settings, hit export, there you go.
And then that video is ready to upload to any channel you want. So whether it's uploading to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, do you know, can you do them in the 9:16 format?
You can. All you have to do, you hit this. And right now the default is in landscape, but to change it to portrait, you hit this. There you go. You'll notice these black bars. It's really easy to fix. Just drag for each scene. Doesn't take that long. There you go.
No, that's cool. And then hit play. I want to see that.
Sure.
Ryan Reynolds is more than just a Hollywood star.
Oh, great. Yeah, it edited the captions and everything. Yeah. Now, one last thing. Can you change the captions? Can you adjust the sizing or do anything on the captions themselves?
You can. Here, I'll zoom in. So it's kind of small in the video. You can edit them here.
Ah. So if I wanted to make them bigger, how would I do that?
Oh, yeah, there you go. I'm modifying the font right there.
Cool. So fully customizable, really, really simple to do. And once you know the workflow, Nick, how long do you think from start to finish, if you were just trying to crank one of these out quickly, how fast could you do one?
Yeah, you could print these out in like 5 minutes, some of these, depending on the type of video you're making. They're good for shorts.
I've seen shorts that are like essentially the voice quality, image quality, the script, just as good as this. It's exactly like what is being output here. And I've watched channels on YouTube, shorts channels, get millions and millions of views with videos like this. It's crazy.
Yeah. One more thing, you can, if you don't like the voice it came up with, you can change the AI speaker. So they have their, you can clone your own voice, but they also have their selection of stock AI speakers. So just you go over here, hit the speaker they chose, hit browse stock AI speakers.
So we can use clone voices here.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, wow. Do you have my clone voice?
No, I don't. Not in the web app.
Okay.
But we'll just choose.
We'll have to experiment with that. But if that's correct, that means that we could generate these videos in my voice as an example. Like, let's say we wanted to push shorts to our YouTube channel or to TikTok or something in my voice. That means Nick or anybody on our team could generate a script, create an entire video, output it in my voice, and I don't have to do anything. That's crazy.
All right, so I changed it to one of their stock AI voices, Nile. So let's see how it came out.
Ryan Reynolds is more than just a Hollywood star. He's a brilliant entrepreneur who's built and sold businesses worth billions.
So there's Niall.
Huh. And how many voices were there? There was a lot on that list, right?
Here, let's see, like 24.
Let's try a different female voice. We'll hear one more voice and then we'll move on. We'll talk about how to make money with this in just a minute.
We'll do Judith. Okay, so it'll take a second to change the speech.
Let's try it.
Ryan Reynolds is more than just a Hollywood star. He's a brilliant entrepreneur who's built and sold businesses worth billions.
There you go.
Pretty cool. So there we have it. That is how you do it. And then we would just export, save this, and upload it to your favorite social media channel. But let's for a minute talk about how you actually make money with this. So Nick, I know one of the things that you have been very interested in is there's one guy in particular you found who, what did he make? Like it was, I think, over $2 million, right?
Yeah, it was 2.4 million.
And so how does he do that? I think it's faceless content, right?
Yeah, he has a little portfolio. I think he has 6 channels now, faceless YouTube content. I don't think he's using AI automations. I think he's using freelancers. I think he's monetizing exclusively through AdSense, and he's generated $2.4 million doing that.
That's awesome. So there's an example of that. That's kind of like the, I'll use air quotes, easiest way to do this, because all you're doing is focused on uploading a lot of shorts. Now, the one thing I will say about this particular business model is that it takes time and consistency. So it isn't something where you're going to post a couple of shorts and then bam, all of a sudden you're getting millions of views and the money is raining from the ceiling, right? It doesn't happen like that. I know that's the story that a lot of people like to pay attention to, but that's not the normal story. Normally, it's that someone is going to take shorts like these, they'll upload them consistently. And with shorts, it's frequent, right? How frequent would you say someone should be putting shorts if they're trying to blow up a channel?
Oh my God, daily minimum. Ideally, you should be posting multiple times a day. There are some people that post like 5-6 times a day.
Yeah, I saw someone advocating posting 8 times a day for shorts. Now, you don't have to do 8. That's pretty extreme. Point is, this isn't something where you upload a video here or there and then you'll let it sit. You must be consistent. So minimum daily, but look how easy this is. So based on what you just saw, 5 minutes or less, you pop out the video, spend a little time formatting, the title and the description, and then upload it. If you're doing shorts, you can use those on TikTok, you can use them on Instagram, you can use them on Facebook, even on X. And then you just stay consistent. You do that every single day, at least once a day, and you're going to see that you get growth over time. And then at some point, usually with this type of social media and with content like this, you'll hit an inflection point where all of a sudden you're sort of like going along, little growth, and then it'll ramp up and you'll see rapid growth. And then it might plateau again and you'll go along and then rapid growth. That seems to be, we've even noticed that here on our channel, that kind of a pattern. But you've got to stay consistent and do it for the long haul in order for you to get to one of those inflection points where it just starts to accelerate and ramp up. Anything else on faceless content, Nick, that we should talk about as a money-making opportunity?
As a money-making opportunity, you could use this to mass produce ad creative. If you're running ads for your brand.
Well, then let's move on to that. So that's actually a different way of making money with this. So one is you have the faceless channel. You're just trying to make money with ad revenue, right? And you have to get qualified to get rewarded. All of the different social media platforms have creator compensation plans. They're all different. They have different requirements. You have to have different sized audiences. So we're not going to get into the weeds on that. But every one of those platforms has a creator monetization strategy that you can cash in on. So now let's move on. So what if you wanted to do a different strategy? One that we'll talk about in a minute is how do you use this content for ads. But let's move on to the next easiest one. And that would be using these videos to promote your own products free in social media. I will say this, you can promote your own or someone else's product as an affiliate. So if you're familiar with affiliate marketing, that's when you get paid commission for promoting other people's stuff. Nick, would you say this would work? Let's say I wanted to promote one of my courses. Do you think I could use this?
Yeah, I actually don't know for info products, for physical products like e-com, like TikTok Shop. There are people doing this. I've seen content on TikTok where it's like slideshows. It's just AI generated stuff you can make using something like Descript. And there are tools like Callow Data where you can see behind the scenes the amount of money different TikTok shops and different TikTok affiliates are making. Mm-hmm. There are people making millions of dollars with these AI, and if you were seeing it on the front end, you wouldn't know. But because we have the data on the back end, people making millions of dollars with these AI shorts. It's pretty wild.
So you can make these centered around a particular product or a problem that the product solves. And I think people don't realize that. They'll make one video on a product and then kind of move on. You can do 27 videos on the same product. You just have the AI make different scripts, maybe talk about different problems that the product solves, different benefits that the product gives you. And, they're only these short little 30-second clips. So you can do them over and over and over again, promoting anything. I love your idea of TikTok Shop. And probably what I would speculate is that most TikTok Shop products that you can promote in TikTok are also available on Amazon. So what I would do is make a video on a particular product on TikTok. Obviously, I would promote TikTok Shop and I'd get paid commission for that. But let's say I want to put it on YouTube Shorts. Well, now I can go find the product on Amazon and use my affiliate link on Amazon to promote over there. And then you could double and triple dip, get paid in multiple places. And then I would say when it comes to digital products, the play here is a newsletter. So imagine, Nick, that Ryan Reynolds clip that you just put out there. Do you think you could put out an offer for someone to join your free newsletter and stitch it into that video?
Yeah, I think you could.
So let's say whether you do it in the middle, at the end, you can have a little commercial. You could literally write a commercial for your email newsletter, copy and paste it into Descript. And now that has turned into an organic piece of content that promotes your email newsletter. So for example, we could promote Ingeniosity, your newsletter, right in the end of a short like that.
Yeah, you certainly could.
All right, cool. So now let's move on to the third way of making money with this, and that's using this content as advertisements. So for those who want to invest a little bit of money and scale up, right? You want to get faster results, you want to get bigger results. Maybe you're not patient. Like that's me. I don't have the patience to with social media and just doing everything for free because it takes a while, right? It takes consistent effort over a long period of time to get traction. But with paid ads, I can spend money and control the speed at which my content is shown. So now you could get the custom GPT that Nick showed you to create an ad script for you for your products or services, whether it's your newsletter, your course that you're giving away or selling, whether it's a physical product, whatever it might be. These can become advertisements for you to sell your stuff or affiliate products. Anything you would do differently, do you think, Nick, if you were making an ad using this tool?
Well, I know for brands that grow really fast, they're testing hundreds, sometimes thousands of ad creatives. There's a blow up newsletter that basically blew up to millions. It's called the 1440. It blew up to millions of subscribers. And there was an interview their head of growth did where she talked about how they were testing thousands. Imagine, wow. I think most people when they get started, they go, oh my God, I tested 10 ads and nothing took off yet. This is taking forever. I should just give up. They tested thousands before AI.
That puts us in reach, right? I'm not saying everybody here necessarily should do 1,000 ads, but you should test
you don't
a lot.
need to. Yeah. You don't need to do thousands, but this is the thousands of ads. That's what the big guys are doing in this space. So if you wanted to print out dozens of ads in a day, 100 ads in a day, over the weekend, you wanted to test 500 different ads, you could make these over the weekend using this workflow.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, and I know too, and as an example, there's so many different elements of the ads that you can test. And there are two big reasons why you want to do quantity of ads like this. Number one is testing, like Nick is saying. So you want to find the ideal ad, right? And that might be a different sort of idea, they call it the hook, right? The big idea and the hook behind the ad. Well, you can make 12 different ones with 12 different copy sales hooks that would grab people's attention 12 different ways and test them all. And then over, say, 3 days' time, you run those ads, you're going to quickly see which hook is the winner. Well, then you pause all the ones that are not that hook. And now what you can do is move on and test something else. So now you could try, oh, you know what? Let's try a different voice. We'll use the same hook, but we'll make another one with a different voice and test it. And it's just a battle you put head to head over and over again. So then once maybe you found a good voice that seems to get the best response, now what could you try? Well, maybe we can try some different visuals. And now over and over, all you're constantly doing is trying to beat what we call your control, right? So you find the winner, becomes your control. And then you just go back to Descript, spat out another ad, testing one thing. And you keep improving, continuously improving. The other thing where this is valuable is for if you get to a point where you're spending a significant amount of money on ads, and this is true on almost any platform. Facebook, this happens. X, it happens. You get what's called ad fatigue. And so your ads will be doing great, making lots and lots of money. And they go and go and go. And it could be weeks, months. And then all of a sudden, they start to dip and their response goes down, down, down. That's because ad fatigue is setting in. That means that you have a lot of people who have seen your ad multiple times and it's starting to wear out. Well, now you just jump back into Descript and you make a bunch of new versions and throw them back up. And that handles your ad fatigue. So either way, this tool becomes amazing for doing ad testing. And Nick, what I'd like to do, so we'll brainstorm after we go off camera, and we'll talk about this, but I would like to do is create some example prompts for each of these 3 money-making models. So if someone was going to do faceless YouTube, someone was going to do, promoting a product, or someone was going to make an ad. So let's do our prompts and our best practices in our guide that we're going to create for everybody. Let's put it around these 3 different models. Does that sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. With that, we're going to be wrapping things up. So Nick, thank you for your help today. And demo was awesome. Yeah. And for everybody else out there, make sure you subscribe to the Ingeniosity newsletter, and you'll get that guide that we are preparing for you on how to use this tool to be able to make ads, to be able to make promotional content to sell products or services, and then finally, how to use this to do faceless YouTube or faceless content on any channel. All of that will be included in the guide, so just go to pushbutton.ai/subscribe to get that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. You'll see that down below. There'll be a nice red subscribe button, and we put out content like this all the time, so I hope to see you in a future video. And don't forget, smash that like button. I got to always say that. That helps feed the algorithm so YouTube and all the other places know that this content is worth sharing. And with that, we'll see everybody later. Bye for now. You may or may not know, I have an AI tool that's a company called Pushbutton AI that helps people build course businesses. It builds the whole business, bottom to top. It helps you do the research to pick the niche market, helps you figure out what topics you should write about, what your course should be about, what the lessons should be about. It outlines the lessons. It writes the whole thing. It creates your sales page. It creates your page to get leads to subscribe to your business. It even writes your email sequence. It does audiobooks, video trainings, and a whole lot more. You just answer 2 questions and you hit a button, and it does it all. If you're interested in that, certainly you can book a demo to see it for yourself. You'll see with your own eyes. We're often running webinars and other trainings as well. So I'll drop links to either our webinar or our demos down below so you can check it out and see if it's something for you. But I found that most people get really overwhelmed and frustrated with the technical stuff. So that's why we created Pushbutton AI. If you're looking for a tool, we'll just do it for you, and it'll just handle the technical stuff. So when it comes to like setting up your web hosting, registering a domain name, setting up your email marketing, we even include a complete, fully functional email marketing platform that you can log into and email all of your customers and subscribers. It's all included. And all of the tech setup is done by the AI. If you want that, then definitely schedule your demo. You can get a demo from us by going to pushbutton.ai/demo. Now, at the time of recording this video, Pushbutton AI is not publicly for sale, but if you book a demo, they'll show you the technology, and if it makes sense, if it's something that can really help you, they'll invite you into our early access program. But what they'll do first is show you the technology. They'll talk about what kind of a course you might want to make. They'll talk about your business plans. They'll help guide you on what the right choices are for creating your first course business. And then if it makes sense, if it's the right tool for you, they'll invite you into the early access program. But check out the demo. It's mind-blowing. Again, that's at pushbutton.ai/demo. That's pushbutton.ai/demo.